We're back. Most people, when you mention the name Gene Kelly, think of just a superb dancer, which he is, but he is also a fine director, actor, and singer who is, well, justifiably won many, many awards, and he narrates and is very much in evidence in the new film. That's Entertainment 2. You saw the first one, didn't you? Yeah. Well, you will not want to miss this because it's just a compilation of great moments on the screen. Would you welcome, please, Mr. Gene Kelly? Welcome back.
It's good to be back.
Hey, it's great to have you here, and Fred, and everybody tonight. This should be fun, because we've got a few little excerpts from That's Entertainment 2. You know, usually when you follow something like That's Entertainment 1, I suppose the natural thing to say, hey, what have you got left to show? They must have enough stuff at MGM to dig up stuff for years, haven't they? It must have been a tremendous job to try to figure out what you're going to leave out rather than what you're going to show.
Yes, the producers, Danny Melnick and Solly Chaplin, had the trouble of not knowing what to put in the show. Right. And Fred and I just glued it together. We didn't edit it at all. We had nothing to do with selecting. Otherwise, we'd have put all our numbers in.
Yeah. But you two were hoofing in this together. Not from film, but you were doing a little stuff.
Hoofing, but very mild, you know. We don't.
That's mild?
We don't jump over any tables anymore, you know. It's nothing like that. Mm-hmm.
There's some great stuff in there. I mentioned, you heard me, I was mentioning that little excerpt they had with Robert Taylor having to sing in some movie which...
I'd never seen that before.
Yeah, which obviously he didn't want to do.
No.
Every actor, I suppose, when he is under contract with studio, gets in one of those things.
It looked like that to me. He didn't want to do
And he's sitting there, he's kind of grimacing a little bit and valiantly trying to go through this number, and the grand pianos are coming up through the floor. Oh, they've got another one of those wonderful Esther Williams sequences in this.
Oh, she's marvelous. She's marvelous.
From the water spectacular. And
can't do that anymore.
Damnedest thing you've ever seen in your life. Do you keep in touch with a lot of the people that you work with over the years?
I see them from time to time,
yeah.
Yes. And I see Fred a lot because we live near each other, and we get together and talk shop. But yes, I do keep in touch. Yeah. But I'm a homebody. I don't go out much.
Got that much anymore? How's
your beauteous wife?
Thank you. She'd love that. Good. Yeah, she's a great admirer of yours. She danced with you one night at some private party, and I suppose you and Fred both get this, and you've probably been asked the question. But any time that you occasionally do go out to a party, what do you do with the ladies who come up and say,
"Oh, Mr. Kelly, I bet you'd love to dance with me."
I mean, now, how do you handle that? I'm going to ask Fred when he comes out. What do you say?
I usually come with my leg in a cast or a crutch.
Ace bandage around the knee or something?
Yes.
But you have to get that, really.
No. Really what happens is that both Fred and I enjoy dancing in the old style. Forgive me, you young folks. But we like to put our arm around her because in our day it was a form of courtship. And but the trouble is when a lady comes up and says, "Hello, I'd love to dance with you," she freezes. And
you got a redwood tree on you.
Like Jack Grant.
Yes, when we had him out here one night dancing.
No, and because they expect Fred or myself to throw them over a table, and all we're doing is a foxtrot. You know, we just.
I like that dancing where you touch too. You put the arm around the girl.
Well,
the discotheques are fun, and everybody's on their own.
Oh, sure, it's fun. I have a lot of fun at them, but when I was a kid, it was the approach. You couldn't touch a girl unless to dance with her. You know.
And especially the dipping. Dipping was very big.
Yeah.
A couple of real good dips, if well done, could pretty well give you an indication of how things were going to end up for the evening. If you really knew how to dip, you know where things were going the rest of the night.
You only get them at a cocktail
party.
That's
right.
Yeah.
Who are some of the favorite? Now, they had a wonderful segment in here with Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn doing things together. And I know you admired both of them. All actors admire Tracy and Hepburn tremendously, do they not?
Well, I did a film with Tracy, and I did the film. The third role behind Tracy and Freddie March. because I admired both those men so much, and I felt that I didn't want to go to my grave and never work with him because we were at the same studio. But actually, movie musicals made all the money at MGM. They did make the money, and so he kept being in musicals. But I had a chance once to work with Katharine Hepburn, and we would always test for a part. Strangely enough, in the studio days, we'd always test for a part. And they put rubber here and rubber here and rubber here and everything. And I rehearsed and I worked and I said, I'm going to work with Katie Hepburn because I worshipped her.
Now,
and I still do.
what was this for? Was this
This
for
is
a
to
costume?
make me Chinese, Oriental.
Oh, I see.
And it was great until I turned profile in the long nose. So I looked like an Irish Oriental. And so they traded me off to Universal to work with Deanna Durbin in a straight role, and Turhan Bey, who was Oriental, came over and played the role with Katie.
You know, the people I saw this Entertainment 2 the other night wondered, and maybe people shouldn't look back. Nostalgia is a certain value in nostalgia, and it's fun. But we were trying to wonder if those kind of musicals would ever come back, and if they could produce those now.
It's pretty expensive.
And yeah.
And it's a different kind of talent. It's a different kind of talent.
I mean, those people were really dancers and singers, and
it's also the public decides. We had a lot of great performers and great dancers at MGM, and
Don O'Connor's also in this. Bobby Van.
we had a lot of them with Bobby Fosse, Tommy Rawl,
That's right, Bob Fosse.
Gower Champion, and it's the public will decide. We don't decide. I'd direct a picture and I'd want Bobby Fosse or Gower Champion, and the public would say whether you're a hit or not.
That's right. They always do make the
They make you a
ultimate
star.
decision, do they
They
not?
make you a star. You don't create a star, no.
Public does. All right, we'll take a break. We're coming right back. Stay where you are. We are back, and we're talking with Gene Kelly, and Fred Astaire will be along shortly, and John Biner and Tom Sullivan. You've danced with many, many partners. Now, I'm not going to ask you that dumb question that you probably get asked, who is your favorite, because that's would be undiplomatic, first of all, to answer, and you'd probably get a few noses out of joint. But the thing that intrigued me, there was a segment, I don't know what we're going to see tonight, and we'll see in just a second, and where Sinatra and you, was that Anchors Away?
Yeah.
Did that wonderful number. And
Oh, we did. We danced.
Two.
We worked in several pictures. I don't know
but the
which
dance sequence in this is incredible. And obviously people are going to think when they see that Sinatra is faking it or
If
something.
we're in blue suits, it's Anchors Away.
Right. That's the way you remember, huh?
That's where I remember.
And now Frank must have worked his behind off on that,
He did.
because it was incredible.
He did. He had never danced.
It wasn't
so
a
high.
simple little teeny dance
Oh,
routine.
no,
This was
no. He worked very hard, and he wanted to do it, and as he had never been an actor. You know, he'd been the idol of the Bobby Soxers, and as he came to learn about motion pictures, many people got the wrong idea about Frank. He learned that he spontaneously he would do his first take the best. And everybody said, "Oh, he will work hard. He will work hard." No, he worked hard.
He knew what
rehearsed.
was right for him.
But he was better on the first take. And there are a lot of actors like that. But Frank, it just happens to be the most famous. But a lot of actors, as they do more and more takes, get better and better and better.
Get more into it. And
I like to do a few extra takes. I think I improve.
just kind of ensure and also feel more
No,
comfortable as you do it.
I
You
get
warm up
better.
to it, in other
I
words.
get better, yes.
It's interesting. I don't know what the segment's here, but let's run what we're going to see here, and we're going to leave the mics open, Gene, so you can comment over it. These are some excerpts from That's Entertainment 2. And so, Bob, you want to roll them? Watch the monitors here. A lot of crane work in those shots, right? Yeah, I always like to finish. That crane would come zooming in and pa-boom. Now, I want to ask you about the roller skating thing. After we saw that the other people were sitting around and say, how in the hell?
Now, those skates
To dance on roller skates.
were bought down at a hardware store, and they were attached to my shoe. They were just Chicago ball-bearing roller
Right.
skates. But to tell you the honest truth, my brother Fred and I used to have a roller skating act, and when we were young, we were foolish enough to do backflips in the airlands. How we weren't killed, I really don't know. So that number was very easy.
Now,
But
that I
nobody
didn't know
believes
about
it.
you.
Nobody believes it. They think there's some gimmick. No, they're just regular iron roller skates.
Well, I
steel
didn't
roller
know
skates.
I didn't know the other part about this. You
No,
used
and
to
we
dance
were
on roller
raised by,
skates.
my father was a Canadian, and when I was 4, I was skating, and when I was 12, I was playing hockey, and that wasn't a hard number for me to do, really.
Did your brother, was he a dancer along with
Oh,
the skating?
yes,
also?
yes.
Did you used to do an act together?
Yes, yes, he got me into the business. Because we in the Depression, we wanted to work our way through college. I wanted to be an attorney, and I did get a degree from University of Pittsburgh, but I started digging ditches and jerking sodas, working 20 hours a day, and he'd go out and he'd do a little gig with, guys, and he'd come home with more money than I made. And I said, wait a minute, show me some of that. And that's how I got started. That's really how I got started.
That's interesting. Everyone thinks, of course, that everybody can be taught to dance, I suppose to a limited degree. But that's not really quite true, is it? I mean, there's a certain natural ability you must have.
You proved that here once.
Yes, I was dancing.
No,
Why did I have to bring that up again?
Anybody with coordination can be taught to dance. Some do it more easily than others, that's all. It's like anything. Mozart, when he was 4 years of age, sneaked down into the living room and started to play the piano. Now, how can you explain that? And he was a child prodigy. He just could play the piano. And dancing was always easy.
Kids shouldn't be up that late anyway. Those things you never do understand. That's where people say reincarnation, right? They go back to that he has inherited something and is reappearing again. But there's no explaining that at all.
No,
Or somebody
you can't
picking up a
explain.
violin at the age 4.
No.
And I picked up a violin at the age 4 once, and folks told me to put it back, and that was in it, but I had no talent at all. We'll do this commercial here, and then we're going to come back, and Fred is with us, and John Biner and Tom Sullivan. Here's a word from one of our sponsors. You know, dredging up superlatives to introduce either you or my next guest is almost impossible because he's a unique gentleman. Charm, elegance, style, great talent, and hard work that you'd never see in the dancing, right? It always looks so easy. You forget about all of the hard work. It's a great pleasure to have with us again Mr. Fred Astaire. I don't know how both of you feel about being here tonight, but it's a great kick for all of us again, really. This is super tonight.
Thank you very much.
Have you gentlemen
Thank
here.
you so much.
Gene said a moment ago when we saw that brief 30 seconds where you were hoofing the new sequences that you did for That's Entertainment too, that you didn't do much, you just hoofed a little, but I saw that. That was a lot of dancing you were doing, and you moved great.
Well, thank you very much. We was trying to kid around and just throw it away, and then found that it got to be quite a little thing to have to put together, you know, because the old master here, when he's directing something, he likes to have it done right, so we kid around.
It is very hard to direct Fred Astaire, I'll tell you that.
You mean he hustles you through more than one take on those things?
You just don't know what it's like.
Well, he's the most difficult man in the world to
No,
work.
but he's always going around. I say, look, Gene, here's a thought. I've got an idea. Maybe would this be it? And you say, yeah, all right. That's the end of that. Sometimes he says yes. Sometimes. I love working with him. Though. We have a million laughs.
We did have fun.
You ever been doing a sequence, either one of you, and take a real pratfall during a take, and a real bad fall?
I have.
Oh, I have too. Oh,
I
yeah.
have,
Oh, it's
sure.
marvelous because you. Well, no.
It makes you human, first of all.
Well, sure, but you're talking about on the screen or on the stage?
Either place.
Yeah, that's what I'll go with that. Because on the stage, it always builds up. You know, it's like a juggler who misses the trick or whatever it is and gets it. I've had that experience. I went so flat over a table with a girl on top of me once. And we got up and did it again. And it happened again. And it was tough.
And the girl said one more time, huh?
Well, we had
More to come.
We had to go over.
That was a stage show, right?
Yeah, yes.
Well, there are no
And,
takes there. You just get up and...
And
Terrible,
then we
terrible feeling.
finally made it, and oh my goodness, it was, you'd think we'd been shot out of a cannon, and all the audience loved it because they thought they're never going to see what we're trying to do.
I must interpolate this. Just before you came in, Johnny said to make it look easy and do this. The art of the dance is to make difficult things look easy, and to make them look easy, you have to extend yourself. You have to extend yourself, and when you extend yourself, sometimes you go.
No more, because extending time is over. Well, that's true. I suppose it's true of great singers. They make it all look so easy, like Frank. It all looks just like you're throwing it away, and you thought of it on the spur of the moment.
Yes.
I noticed in all those dance sequences in the picture, it always is wonderful that the couch is always in the right position. The little box at the side that's so carefully placed on the warehouse or by the dock is just the right height for a couple of steps.
They better be, I'm telling you that.
Well, we're governed by our friends, the musicians, because music and mathematics are analogous, and you have so much time and so many beats to go from here to here. A singer can do a rubato, he can slow down, he can do this, and a dancer doesn't have this freedom. So we are really governed by the music.
Mathematically, after 4 bars, you better be at the box.
Mathematics of the thing is, and that's why we do those pratfalls.
It's all right when you're doing it on tape or on the screen in film. I think you can stop and do it over and all that kind of thing. It's fine. But on the stage, that's it. I saw that happen in one of the best ballets, one of the big ballet companies here. Oh, really? What a fall. And when one of those guys gets it, they really, really go. Don't you agree?
Yes.
Yeah, that's even worse, I guess, than classical, because it's so obvious. Now, I don't know what the film clips we have here, but as I say, we got the mic open, so if you want to make any comments, we'll show the audience. So, Bobby, you want to roll this next one? But there's one right here also.
Well, I was in on a whole number.
Thank you.
That's sensational. That's just a couple of minutes from
Well,
that.
the first sequence that came on there, I had to laugh because I was in that white suit, and then we came on to another number. I was still in the white suit, which was another number entirely, but it looked like it was part of the same. And all of a sudden, my socks were red in the second one, but they were not red in the first. So I looked at it. Ooh, what happened?
I was going to ask you, were the two-tone shoes, so many numbers, was that almost a trademark? Not that you always wore them, but I remember seeing so many numbers where maybe that was just the style of the day.
Well, I wore them because they kind of make the feet show moving around. I think that's what it was. I guess I just like two-tone shoes.
Yeah, I was just wondering if it was a shoe of the time or whether that was a trademark. Well, let me interrupt for a second. We'll be right back. McDonald's has a great way to start your day. Go on. We're back. I was asking Fred during this break how your sister Adele is.
Oh, my sister,
lady.
my little sister. She's just great. She's just great. The reason I came on like gangbusters, did you notice it by any chance? Because,
Yes, you were charged up.
Well, the last time I came on your show, she said I came on like an old creep. So fool her. Well, she was right.
Adele doesn't mince words, does she?
No.
She's a great gal.
Yes, she is.
She always knocks me out. I talk to her on the phone all the time. She
says, don't go on like an old creep, huh?
Yeah, that's right. Well, I walked in. I wasn't thinking, maybe, so I'm an old creep. I can't. I told her that. I said,
Look, well, both of you are coming here tonight. I said, no, one thing I'm not going to do. They're bringing the film clips from that entertainment. The fact that you're here is enough. For God's sakes, don't say get up and dance, which you probably get every time you go out. But I understand. No, wait. Now, you say... But you are going to do something for us, I understand. And this is a song, in fact, one of you are going to do a little bit later, at least a verse of it, is the one you did. I know that Tony Bennett did so well. She was on the show.
Life is beautiful.
Life is beautiful. But can I get you to do the other song about Los Angeles? I didn't.
Well, thank you. I'd love to do
nice.
it. The words are written by Tommy Wolfe, my co-writer with this, and I must say it's a mouthful. I hope I remember him.
All right. Love for you to do it.
Thank you.
There you go.
Gather round and join me in a toast to that California town I love the most. City of the angels, pretty city of the angels, that's the only place I really want to be. Life's a taste of honey, when the skies are bright and sunny, and you dream of picking money off a tree. City of the angels, pretty city of the angels, how I hate to leave her even for a while. Especially when it's cloudy, she's got ways of saying howdy, making everyone so proud he wears a smile. L.A. doesn't begin to describe her name. She'll stay under your skin like a dame who became quite famous. Now if you've got a craving, if you're looking for a haven, then my best advice I'm saving for the end. Train or boat or jet there, just as soon as you can get there, and I'll bet that you'll be met there by a friend. Splash in the sea and foam, cash in Paris and Rome. Just a little change will make the city of the angels your home. Oh, somewhere the hearts are fine. Come where the stars still shine, and you'll be sitting pretty in that city of those angels of mine.
Oh, yes. Author. Author. That's a nice song.
Thank you very much.
You know, the city of Los Angeles, 6 or 7 months ago, had a contest. They were trying to find an official song for the city of Los Angeles. This is the best thing I've ever. Why don't they adopt this one? This is nice. It's got a great sound to it.
Thank you.
They had some real bad ones.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's got a nice.
Tommy Wolfe's lyric I like very much because he kind of hits at things that are the cloudy, this and that. He always gets a little.
The essence of it, yeah.
Could I say something about Fred? He'll kill me for this, but you know it's hard to write a song. I wouldn't know how to begin. But Fred, he does this as a hobby, but he does it as professionally, and I know him well, as any songwriter. As
Agreed.
you've just heard, he really does. He really does.
Agreed.
But he does so many things that, you play the accordion, you play the piano, and you beat the drums, and
You
my
play
God,
the
nobody
accordion?
knows these things about Fred. I
Fred
sound like
plays
a
the
fan
accordion?
magazine. I know, but
Go
no,
ahead,
it's
don't
true.
stop. I mean,
Don't stop now. You just warmed up. Gee, I
But you're
didn't know that.
very difficult, very difficult.
I want to tell you, it's tough writing songs. I don't, I don't consider myself too much at it, but once in a while something comes along, and I do it. Now these things happen, and I can't think of anything for the last couple of months, and I've tried because somebody wanted me to write a song for a special thing, and I couldn't get any idea at all. So I guess maybe I'm just, it's one of those.
You're just between songs right now.
Yeah.
We'll come back. I want you to do a chorus if you'd like of that. Life Can Be Beautiful. Life is beautiful.
Sure.
Because that's a great tune. We'll be right back after this.
Thank you.
We are back. Thank you, Doc. Now I've asked Fred if he will do a chorus or whatever you like of Life is Beautiful. The band uses that between station breaks sometimes, plays it.
I
night.
heard that they do, and I've really been very happy about
Sneak it in, sneak it in frequently. We'll do it with Ross? We do it from here if you'd like.
Yeah. Life is beautiful in every way. Life is lovely as a spring bouquet. Since I fell in love with you, life is like a dream that has come true. For life is sunshine smiling brightly on a summer day. Life is rainbows chasing all the clouds of gray. Life is beautiful and fine, but darling, only because you're mine.
Yeah, I love that song.
Did I hit a few weird notes there or not?
I don't think any weird notes.
You never hit a weird
Oh,
note.
I think I do. All right.
No, you didn't hit a weird
Thank
note.
you. I didn't.
Next one on talent auditions tonight. Now, Fred has been out there singing his heart out, Gene. Now,
He's got a range.
a couple of numbers.
Well, frankly, I didn't come prepared to do anything, but we could try to fake something. I noticed, and it gave me an idea when you were singing the Los Angeles song. You had 2 lines for a verse, and that's very unusual, isn't it? You
Well,
know.
I guess I couldn't think of anything else.
No, but it occurred to me while you're doing it, most of the great songwriters that you and I have worked with on not only in the Broadway theater but in movies, they did some of their finest writing in the verses, and then when the song becomes a hit, everybody forgets the verse.
And just does the
And
melody.
Then you did the second song, and you didn't do a verse at all.
Well, there is a verse for the second.
No, but you didn't do it because.
Well, but don't you know they used to drop verses out in the case
Yes,
of
they
City-
just drop them. They forget about
In the case
them.
of City of the Angels, there was there were so many words in the chorus, and the whole story was there. There's nothing more that you could say. And I was delighted when Tommy came up with that. Join me in a toast to the town I love the most. I thought that was.
Now, I remember when Tony Bennett sang that song. You know, when you and I were at that dinner.
Right.
And your song. There was a verse to it. Anyway, we'll try to fake a couple of verses. I don't know.
You want to sing?
We're supposed to try to figure out the song? Do the verse and see if anybody knows the song. Just verses.
This is up for grabs. Can I get closer to the pianist? Beautiful. I remember when I was on Broadway in particular, they did a lot of. Should I look out this way? Because I really want to look over here for help. When I was in Broadway in particular, you would do a show, and the great writers, Rodgers and Hart, Cole Porter, Jerry Kern, fellows like that both Fred and I have worked with a lot. They would tie in the song with a verse to come out of the scene, and then when the song became a hit, the verse was dropped, and nobody ever remembered it. For example, Rodgers and Hart did well. Let's see if anybody, even the musicians know it. Give me a key, something. How glad the many millions of Annabelles and Lillians would be to that's too hard. How glad the many millions of Annabelles and Lillians were too low. In between. Anyway, we got started, and I'm turning this way. How glad the many millions of Annabelles and Lillians would be to capture me. But you showed such persistence, you wore down my resistance. I fell but it was swell. I'm your big and brave and handsome Romeo. But how I won you, I shall never, never know. Now it's not that you're attractive, but oh, my heart grew active when you came into view. I've got a crush on you, sweetie pie. Gershwin, all the day and night time, hear me sigh. I never had the least notion that I could fall with so much emotion. Could you care for a cunning cottage two could share? The world will pardon my mush, 'cause I have got a crush, my baby, on you. Anyway, George and Ira Gershwin wrote that song, and nobody knows that verse. Nobody knows that verse. I came out to make movies, and I was very lucky to appear in a movie with Judy Garland. You saw a clip of it. And it was called For Me and My Gal, and it was a period piece. And we were vaudeville hoofers. It was a pretty corny movie, judged by today's standards. And they picked a song called For Me and My Gal. And the verse had something to do with Cucamonga or something. It had nothing to do with the scene or anything. So they had specialists out here, Roger Eden, Saul Chaplin, who was a co-producer of That's Entertainment Part 2. And these fellows would rewrite the verse. And they would rewrite the verse to fit the scene and the song. And the verse For Me and My Gal is not the verse that the original songwriters wrote. Boom, 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 boom. Ding dong, do you hear the bells go ding dong? Do you know why they're ringing? Why, no, I don't know why they're ringing. Well, you're gonna get a big surprise, 'cause I'm gonna put you wise. The bells are ringing for me and my gal. Anyway, that was it. So that's how they made movies in those days. Later on, I think we changed them. But we used to have jam sessions with musicians at my house and different houses, and we would try to see how many verses we'd remember. And you'd be amazed at all the great songwriting that was lost in the shuffle. And I believe it was Sammy Kahn said that the perfect verse was, I said to her, believe me. All right.
Two steps. You know, John, you remember John Bubbles, Buck and Bubbles?
Oh,
John used to have an all-purpose verse. He would come on, and it would fit any song at all, remember? It was just a kind of a generic type of verse. Had nothing to do. I knew her and the day was young, and you will find, you'll see, you will be because she said to me, back home again in Indiana. He could go into anything at all from that verse. Made no difference. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back.
I love it.